Holocaust Memories, Never Forget. Section 2, Ahead of the Darkness. From the Enabling Act of March 1933 until Kristallnacht on the 9th and 10th of November, 1938. Part 4. Although Adolf Hitler was adamant that Germans were part of the vastly superior Aryan race and must be protected from being polluted by Jewish blood, his blatantly anti-Semitic policies would have failed had it not been for the fact that most Germans agreed with him. By forcing the highest leaders of the Nazi Party and the SA to formulate the Nuremberg Laws, which essentially gave the government the legal right to destroy the lives of anyone determined to be a non-Aryan, he was actually giving the German people themselves the power to seal the fate of their Jewish population. The following is a brief summary of the Nuremberg Laws, with no attempt to be comprehensive. The Reich Citizenship Law. This provided a legal description of the racial makeup of both Jews and Germans. A full-blooded Jew had at least 3 Jewish grandparents. A full-blooded German must have 4 full-blooded German grandparents. A new category, called Mischlinge, was created for those of mixed Jewish-German heritage, which translated meant mongrel. First-degree Mischlinge were Jews if they had 2 Jewish grandparents and fit into one of 3 other categories. They were enrolled in a Jewish congregation prior to the laws being passed. They were the offspring of a Jewish marriage, or of an extramarital affair with a Jew. They were married to a Jew. The rules for second-degree Mischlinge, those with 1 Jewish grandparent, were more confusing than those for a full-blooded Jew or a first-degree Mischlinge. Surprisingly, some rare exceptions were made by Hitler or the Nazi leadership, but as Germany moved closer and closer to World War II, the rules were continually being revised and made more restrictive. Those this law determined to be second-degree Mischlinge retained limited citizenship rights, but only if they were not part of a Jewish congregation, or if they had converted to Christianity. However, they were seriously limited in finding decent employment because of German discrimination against those considered half-breeds. Not counting the very few exceptions Hitler and the Nazi Party had approved, second-degree Mischlinge were treated as full Jews. As the war progressed, the rights of second-degree Mischlinge deteriorated to the point where they found themselves being sent off to various concentration and labor camps along with full-blooded Jews. The Law for the Protection of German Blood and German Honor. This law prohibited Jews from marrying a full-blooded German, and the government could annul any marriage of this type even if it was performed outside of Germany. It prohibited extramarital sexual relations between Jews and full-blooded Germans. It prohibited Jews from hiring a full-blooded German woman younger than 45 as a domestic servant. The penalty for breaking these laws was any combination of prison time and hard labor. It's important to note that these laws, plus many others which were passed between 1936 and 1939, were significantly narrowed down after the war began until few if any Mischlinge were safe except those personally approved by Hitler himself.